back with yet another lie here in the No Cap Zone, where we have a strict dress code. Now get the hell off with that capping ass, stupid ass bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, shut your stupid ass up and get the fuck out. Go the fuck somewhere else. Go bother somebody else. Because around here, all we care about are the facts, the truth, the data, the information, the evidence, things that can actually be demonstrated, like in real life, like in real time, while we are alive and of sound mind and consciousness. Because otherwise, I literally have no idea what the fuck these goofies are talking about. And to be frank, they don't know what the hell they're talking about, which is why we got to talk about it. So let's get to it. So before I continue, make sure you hit that like, that follow, that subscribe, whatever platform you're watching this on. Follow me on all platforms. Follow me at The Ultimate Rage on IG and on fucking YouTube. Subscribe right there. Fucking all this fucking shit here on Substack. Hit that follow, subscribe, all that shit. Stop playing fucking games with my mind. Act like you fuck with your boy. Anyway, let's just get right on to it. So, I was scrolling the internets earlier today, and I was on Google News, looking at the headlines, looking at all the different things about, Trump wants to fucking annex fucking Greenland and causing all this nonsense all over the place and blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's stupid, but that sounds about on brand for fucking politicians, particularly Republicans, particularly Trump, whatever. But then I was scrolling a little further, and I came across this new memo from good old, the same person we were just talking about, Donald Trump. The fucking White House, an official White House memo from yesterday. And I'd like y'all to check it out with me. I haven't read it. I just seen the title. I very, very quickly went through it just to see kind of what it was talking about. I didn't fully read it, but shit like this goes to show you that America's a theocracy. Let's just get to it. And as y'all know, I like to show y'all the shit that I'm talking about. I like to show y'all. I'm not just gonna tell you, I'm gonna show you. So check it out. Check it out. You see, the White House. The White House. This is where I am fucking reading this from. Religious Freedom Day 2026. Note the date, 2026 proclamations. Check it out. And we're going to read this together. It's not that long, but whatever. By the President of the United States of America, a proclamation. For 250 years, our nation and our people have abided by a simple truth. Every person is born with the God-given right to practice their faith, follow their conscience, and worship their God freely and without fear. Okay, already, a bunch of fucking cat. Bunch of fucking cat. What the fuck is he talking about? Oh, is he talking about this? Talking about this thing? Constitution? Because, I don't know if you know this, but it says this. I don't know if you can read it, but this is the amendments to the Constitution, right? The Constitution of the United States of America. This is what it supposedly says, okay? It's what it says. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Okay. The important part was the make no law respecting an establishment of religion. And this is the biggest loophole of the Constitution. Because it says we shall make no law. And technically, this is not a law, right? So technically, he's still following the Constitution. So why not do pretty much everything outside of making literal laws, at least for now? By making proclamations as a president to declare this fucking bullshit. Let's just continue before I fucking get sidetracked. All right, check it out. This Religious Freedom Day, we honor America's distinct place in the halls of history as the only republic ever founded upon this sacred principle, and we renew our commitment to upholding our proud legacy as one glorious nation under God. Okay. So as usual, what the fuck is this guy shit that these goofies are talking about? For thousands of years, people have been saying this shit forever, talking about this God thing. I have seen zero evidence that such a thing exists. Every day we get on here, we demand these people to demonstrate to us. I got stupid ass idiots in my comments on YouTube talking about the Holy Spirit is this and this, that, and this here and this there, but they can't show me at all. Fuckers that think that, because they sent me a video of some stupid ass gangbanger who discovered the Holy Spirit, I'm supposed to be, that's the evidence. That some loony decided to be more loony, and now they're loonier than before. So that's the evidence of the Holy Spirit. What the fuck is that? What is this Holy Spirit garbage that these people are talking about? We'll get to that. There's still more of this to get through, and this driving me fucking crazy. Okay. More than 400 years ago, a band of weary settlers set sail on a perilous journey across the Atlantic on the Mayflower in search of religious liberty, setting in motion the most epic struggle for freedom and faith in the history of the world. Time out. Time out. Yo, the most epic struggle for freedom? You sure this is the most epic struggle for freedom? You sure it wasn't like slavery, you fuck? You sure it wasn't slavery? You sure it wasn't when slaves had to fucking free themselves under your tyrannical rule? You bitch ass fucking clowns. What the fuck is the fucking problem? How retarded can you idiots be? Talking about the fucking most epic struggle for freedom when motherfuckers were literally fighting for their fucking lives, not for their retarded ass, bullshit ass ideology. Like, their literal lives, like, they might actually die, and a lot of people did die because of retarded ass goofies like you who thought that they weren't actual people. Who thought they were 3/5 of a person? Who thought they were subhuman? What the hell is this retarded ass bullshit? And this is a fucker who is literally the fucking president saying this crazy retarded shit. And he has so many fucking fans. He has so many fucking followers all across the world. And even people who oppose this fucking loser believe the same crazy shit. This crazy shit. And it drives me crazy. Because what the fuck is the point? This is the part they never really try to explain. What the fuck is the value of believing this crazy shit? What is the value of fighting for this retarded ass nonsense? For what? What does it actually accomplish? Who does it actually help? How does it actually help anybody other than liars, scam artists, sexually depraved individuals? How does it help the masses? In what fucking way? How are you gonna sit here and talk about these fucking slave owners and their epic struggle for freedom and ignore, those slaves who are like not free, who had to literally fight and die for their freedom? I don't know. Maybe I'm just some fucking loon. Maybe I just don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Maybe slavery didn't happen after all. Maybe all the Jim Crow shit didn't happen after all. Maybe I'm just a fucking dumbass. You know what? I'm done reading this crap. I'm not gonna read it. I'm done reading it. I can't do it. I won't do it. So I'm not gonna do it. Fuck this bullshit. The point I'm making is that America is a theocracy. Shit like this goes to show you that it is a theocracy. Now, some of you might be asking, what the fuck is a theocracy? What the hell are you talking about? Why are you talking? Why is this so important? All right, let me show you. So, the other day I showed y'all the definition of theism. Theism is the belief in some supernatural deity. Whatever the fuck that means. Okay, whatever. So, what is a theocracy? According to the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language, 5th edition, theocracy, government ruled by or subject to religious authority, a country or state governed in this way. Government of a state by the immediate direction or administration of God, hence the exercise of political authority by priests as representing the deity. The state thus governed as the Hebrew Commonwealth before it became a kingdom. Government under the control of a church or state-sponsored religion ruled by God, a political unit governed by a deity or by officials thought to be divinely guided. The belief in government by divine guidance. Okay. That is a theocracy. And considering the fact that 2/3 of America are Christians, considering the fact that damn near the entire government is Christian, we're talking about the whole White House. 90% of Republicans, 80% of Democrats in Congress, pretty much the whole Supreme Court, super duper Christy Christians. If an atheist like me, if an anti-theist like me wanted to run for office, I don't have a fucking chance in hell. Because you're a nation governed by religious authority. The only problem with this, well, it's not the only problem. The major problem with this is that religion is fucking bullshit. Theocracy, theology, theism is straight up garbage. Useless, nonsense, false, lies, useless, goofy ass bullshit. What up, Ice? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? That's what America's become. And you can tell that this is a theocracy because, well, for one, I'm here talking about it. And the reason why I'm here talking about it is because I can't talk about it on TikTok. Because everything I just said, they'd have said that was hate speech. They'd have said that what I just said, the things I have just been saying, is hate. It is hate speech. I don't know what the fuck hate speech is. I don't know what the hell hate speech means. And I don't know how it's considered hate if it's the truth. And let me be specific. Let me be clear. To you Jesus freaks out there, where the fuck is Jesus right now? Where's this guy right now, this second, this instant? If I wanted to believe that this guy was really a real guy, a swell guy, wouldn't it help to locate this guy right now? Wouldn't that be splendid? Wouldn't that be just so wonderful? Because otherwise, what the fuck are y'all talking about? What are y'all talking about? Why should we care about this Jesus character? Why should we care about this crazy shit that y'all believe? Why is the president declaring a religious fucking freedom bullshit day? What is the purpose of it? How does it actually help us as a society? What is the point? What's the fucking point? This is the real true issue that we have with American society. Nonsense has been lauded as genius. It is patently considered taboo to even question this shit. Like I said, on TikTok, I would have been suspended 12 times by now. Just for even questioning this shit. But again, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, these are the triune Trinity, triumvirate, triforce Christianity, and not a single Christian can demonstrate any of them, despite the fact that 2.4 billion of these people exist in the world, 200 million of them here in America, and not a single one. This is the crux of what I call the ultimate rage paradox. For thousands of years, Christianity has existed. Over the course of those thousands of years, billions of people have subscribed to this ideology. They have committed all kinds of atrocities. They have ruled all kinds of kingdoms with this ideology. They have made all kinds of declarations using this ideology. And yet, despite all the technological progress that has been made, the scientific discoveries that have been made, all the innovations that have been created, all the engineering feats that have been accomplished by humanity, not a single fucking Christian of any kind can demonstrate the current whereabouts of the Father, the Son, and or the Holy Spirit right now. How could this be if Christianity is so fucking true? How can 2.4 billion people believe something that zero, I repeat, zero of them can demonstrate to be true in any tangible, meaningful fucking way right now, today? It's 2:16 p.m. Central Standard Time on January the 17th, 2026. How is it possible that so many people can believe something that none of them can demonstrate? Not even a nun can demonstrate it. None. Literally none of them. None of the nuns. And I'm a nun, but I'm not a nun, if you get what I'm saying. There's none, no one, zero people on Earth can demonstrate that there is a such thing as anything supernatural, sci-fi, on any of this crap. Not one time. On top of that, not a single one of these people can demonstrate the actual purpose of this ideology. They can't show us that there's any actual value to be gained from this ideology. They use this stupid, retarded, ridiculous, baseless, useless, unjustifiable mentality, this ideology, to create laws, to develop policies, to make fucking declarations of all kinds, such as this crazy shit by Donald Trump. And yet, how is it helping the world? Yeah, they claim that they're so persecuted. They're so prosecuted despite the fact that they are the overwhelming majority of the population. The overwhelming majority. And yet, their belief system is so true that we can't even talk about it. We can't challenge it. We can't question them. We can't say, hey, show us what the fuck you're talking about. Show us why we need to have a religious freedom day. Why is religious freedom so highly touted? Why is religion itself so highly touted? For what? What is so great about religion? How does it help the world? It doesn't solve anything. It doesn't fix anything, cure anything, accomplish anything other than allowing rapists to rape, scam artists to scam the whole fucking world, and extract resources from our communities. Outside of that, what does theism actually accomplish? What does it actually do? This is why I say theism, particularly Christianity, is the greatest, longest running sci-fi fantasy MLM scam in human history. And it also doubles as the greatest rape culture in human history. Don't believe me? You don't believe me? All right, let me show you some shit. So I showed y'all the shit yesterday, right? Fucking, such as this. Let me show you. This is from yesterday. A guy who used the Bible to justify the alleged rape of children, right? He used the Bible to justify his raping of children. Yeah. But they did such a great job of covering the story, they didn't mention which passage in the Bible the guy was using to justify it. You want to know why? You want to know why? Because 2/3 of the American populace is Christian. They don't want to know. So these journalists are not going to actually state the passage that that guy was using, because heaven forbid that people find out what's actually in the Bible. And we went through this yesterday. So if you want to check it out, go check out the live from yesterday. You can either check it out here on Substack, or you can check it out on YouTube in full, or you could check out the clip, whatever. I talked about it extensively. But that was a story from 2 days ago. I talked about it yesterday. This is from 2 days ago in Arkansas, just in case. Yeah, no. But we discover these stories all the time. This is a new story from yesterday, from last night, after my live. Belleville man sentenced for child pornography, distributing images. Note the date, note the time from Mike Posiatic from yesterday, January the 16th, 2026 at 6:18 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, okay, some guy fucking distributed child pornography. Okay, what's the big deal? I'll show you the big deal because I find it very, very strange how they kind of like buried it in the article, and if they didn't mention it, you wouldn't know. A Belleville man who may have been molested by his family's pastor has been sentenced to 16 years in prison for 2 counts of disseminating child pornography images and 2 counts of disseminating private sexual images of an adult without consent, according to court records in a statement from Illinois Attorney General Kwame Raoul on Friday. Wait, hold up. Who may have been molested by his family's pastor? Wait, they just skipped over there with the quickness. They talking about this dude. What he did was horrible, terrible. We all understand it's terrible and horrible. But they just don't skip over he was molested by his family's pastor. We're not even talking about that guy. They don't even name the guy. They literally skip down and they say some shit about his parents have long believed that at just 3 years old, Owen was molested by the family pastor. Why are they not talking about that guy? Where the fuck is... Wait, hold on. That's the story. That's the story. And then it says here, the memorandum states that the pastor was charged with predatory criminal sexual assault and aggravated sexual abuse of a child under 13, but later pleaded guilty to endangering the health and life of a child. Why are they not naming this pastor? It's shit like this. Like, okay, I'm not gonna sit here and even remotely be like, okay, the person of the story, Owen J. Corder, who turns 23, right? We're not gonna sit here and ignore what he did. Obviously, garbage, horrible, terrible. Piece of garbage. But as the old adage goes, hurt people hurt people. And clearly this person was hurt by some piece of shit. But all the attention is focused on this person and not the bitch-ass pastor who did the shit in the first place. They don't even name the pastor. They don't name the pastor. Wouldn't that be important to know? A motherfucker who's out here raping 3-year-olds! 3-year-olds! Why is that not getting talked about? Why is it that these kinds of stories occur nearly every single day? And yet these weirdos get so much protection. What is up with this protection shit? Why is it that when I talk about this type of shit on, say, a TikTok, they're shutting me down and claiming that I'm engaging in misinformation and I'm showing you the story? Stories like this. Why is social media so protective of these fucking bitch-ass weirdos? When they have fucking a suit or they have a robe, they got their little costume, all of a sudden we gotta protect those fucking weirdos. But if it's just fucking Owen J. Porter, no, we gotta fucking put him on blast. Why don't we put them all on blast? Anybody who engages in this behavior. Like they say, hurt people hurt people. Most people who engage in these kinds of acts, typically, not in every case, but typically have had these acts done to them, as we see. Motherfucker, they said was possibly raped at 3 years old. 3 years old, that was a baby. That's a fucking baby, dude. And we got weirdos raping babies. And that's not even the story. That's buried in the story. They didn't leave it there. I mean, it's the first paragraph of the story, but you know how people are. People don't click on actual stories and read them. They just look at the headline and move on. So if anybody saw that headline, they just think, oh, some guy is weirdo. But when you actually look, oh, weirdo because some other weirdo did some weirdo things to him. And it's almost always like that. which is why I show y'all all the time this website, notinourchurch.com, which is actually what appears to be a pro-religious website, but they have these great statistics such as this one that I show you all the time. There are studies that demonstrate that the faith community is even more vulnerable to abuse than secular environments. The Abel and Harlow study revealed that 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that this category of offender may be the most dangerous. Other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims and younger victims. Yeah, yeah. So, again, what is the value of this religious bullshit other than this? Because, see, if you are a rapist, if you are a child molester, then it makes perfect sense why you would be religious, because clearly you have found a place where you can, in many cases, freely get away with your crazy behavior, right? If Christianity is true, if religion is true, if theism is true at all, how could this be the case? If theism has the upstanding moral compass like these theists always love to claim, how can 93% of sex offenders be religious? Shouldn't it be zero? Shouldn't it be zero? You would think that with the claims that they make, with their bullshit theology, that all of the sex offenders would be non-religious. That it would be 93% of sex offenders describing themselves as non-religious. But that's not the case at all. In fact, the opposite is true. As a matter of fact, I'm willing to bet my life that the overwhelming majority of sex offenders in prison are religious. That, in fact, the overwhelming majority of people in prison are religious. And that's not to say that there aren't crazies among the non-religious, because there most certainly are. They're in every sector of the population. It's the fact that Christianity is 2/3 of the American populace. And with them claiming that they have such wonderful high moral character and values, you would think that these numbers would be super duper low. You would think that America would be a place of fucking just an oasis. This would be like the most idyllic type of nation in the world, because it's being run exclusively by these wonderful, high character, high moral Christians, right? They're doing such a swell job that everybody is happy, everybody is hunky dory, peace is super high, violence is super low. I mean, that's what you would think, right? If what they were saying was true. Except here's the problem. It's not! Because as I show you all the time, we got this website called Vision of Humanity, which has the Global Peace Index ranking 163 countries using a composite index measuring the peacefulness of countries made up of 23 quantitative and qualitative indicators, each weighted on a scale of 1 to 5. The lower the score, the more peaceful the country, which means number 1 is the most peaceful, number 163 is the least peaceful. And so what you will see based on this list, as I show y'all basically every day, all the fucking time, is that when you look at number 1, it's not America. It is not the United States of America. We're not in the top 5. We're not in the top 10. Oh, wait, what was that? Oh, that was Malaysia. We're not in the top 50. We're not in the top 100. We're all the way down at 128 on the Global Peace Index. 128. That is our rank on the Global Peace Index out of 163 countries. 128. We are 128 out of 163 countries. The fact of the matter is, if Christianity is true, how is this possible? To all of you Christians out there, if Christianity is true and America is a Christian nation, as y'all love to fucking claim, why are we 128 out of 163 countries? Why do y'all seem to be content with being 128 out of 163 countries? Why are we not number 1 out of 163 countries? Oh, and today's Saturday, just in case you didn't know, it's January the 17th, 2026. That means tomorrow's Sunday. That's typically when Christians have their weekly membership meetings, as I like to call them. aka church. They have the church services where they go and have their fucking weekly meetup and they fucking pay their weekly membership fees. Are they gonna talk about how they can move us up from 128 to like, how about number 99? How about that? I'm setting the bar low as hell. Setting it super duper low. How can y'all help us get from 128 to 99? I mean, we got 200 million Christians here in America. 200 million. Like I said, that's 2/3 of the population. You got Christians in the government. That means the president, the vice president, the secretary of state, the fucking cabinet, the Supreme Court, Congress, all that fucking bullshit. In the positions. If you are Christianity, you're in the position, right? And on top of that, most notably, y'all have the ultimate super weapon, the supernatural, super intelligent, super thing that y'all worship so fucking hard. The super AI thing, the super duper intelligence, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit that has all the knowledge in the fucking world. Which means, what the hell excuse do y'all have for us being 128 at all? How could we even get to 128 if y'all are being led by the ultimate super intelligence? If the super intelligence has all the information and y'all have a direct connection with the super intelligence, that means that you can SSH the data from it to your fucking brain. And yet, it doesn't appear to work at all. What the fuck? If theism is correct, if Christianity is correct, how the hell could we even be 128? How the hell are we not number one all the time? How the hell is America not an oasis? How the fuck do we have all these horrible metrics all the fucking time, every day? How do we see citizens getting murdered by law enforcement? Hey, why would we even need law enforcement? Don't you have the Lord, the ultimate super weapon that's omniscient, omnipresent, and omnipotent? That means it's everywhere all the time and it has all the strength in the world. So couldn't this thing stop all the madness right now? Everywhere, right now, this second. It can give y'all the exact data you need in order to accomplish the goal of making America actually great. But then again, what's greatness to you? Because some of these loonies think that this is great. They think that 128 is greatness. But one of the things I always say all the time is that if you have an exam with 163 questions and you get 128 of them wrong, that is a miserable failure. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even show up. You might as well not even shown up. It's bad enough you don't know what the hell you're talking about. The least you can do is just be honest and be like, you know what, I didn't study, I wasn't doing the homework, I wasn't paying attention to class, I didn't even go to class. I was just fucking around, sucking Jesus' cock too hard. What's the point of even showing up knowing damn well you don't know what the hell you're talking about, getting all these questions wrong? What's the point of even doing that? You know damn well you don't know what the fucking answers is. You know damn well you don't know if it's B, C, or D. You're just writing abracadabra down the whole shit and getting all of that shit wrong. You ain't even bother to even read the question. Because you know damn well you don't know the answer. But you want to pretend like you do. That's the worst part of it to me. It's the fact that these people love to assert that they got the answer. The fact that they be in my comments, they be in my mentions, they be in my DMs saying all this crazy shit. And through it all, zero. I repeat, zero of them have actual answers, have actual data points demonstrating the current whereabouts of the supernatural super entity that they are obsessed with, let alone how it can provide them with actual answers to help make the world actually awesome. They're doing all this crazy shit. Right? They make all these ridiculous laws. They create these stupid ass offices and shit. Like one of the things I show you all the time, the 100 victories for people of faith, another stupid ass memo by the stupid ass president talking about he created the office of the faith, which does nothing. Literally useless. What does it accomplish? What actually does it accomplish? In that list of 100 victories, no mention of reducing the amount of child rape at all. Not even like a 0.025% reduction, just nothing. And talking about this like this is something to celebrate. Meanwhile, this whole Epstein shit's been going on. They've been trying to censor people from talking about that. I got hit with misinformation talking about that. People want to see the Epstein files. They finally released the Epstein files, and it's heavily, 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 heavily redacted. Wonder why? Wonder why it's so heavily redacted. Who are they protecting? Who exactly are they protecting? Well, I got an idea. Why don't we ask the Lord? Why don't we ask the Lord? Because the Lord knows everything, right? We all got a direct SSH connection to the Lord, right? So why don't we just extract that information from the Lord? Oh, right, I forgot. The Lord is outside space and time, right? Of course they lie. Wow, they lied. You know, this is what they do, fam. They're liars. And one of the things we talked about yesterday is that theists are not good people, specifically Christians. They're not good people because one of the key characteristics of being a good person is to be honest, right? Honesty. So check it out. So I have this article, uh, 6 signs you're a good person. 6 signs you're a good person. As you can see, empathy, compassion, kindness, altruism, integrity. That's the main one. Inclusivity. So let's go to integrity. So that's one of the most important ones. Like many personality concepts, integrity is a collection term for thoughts, actions, and behaviors related to morality and ethics. If you've been told you have integrity or act with integrity, you most likely value honesty. Wrong. Wrong. Considering the fact that Christianity and all of theism is dishonest, it's false, useless, nonsensical, blatantly unjustifiable. Oh, I can't scroll comments. That's so fucking stupid. I gotta fix that Substack. Um, you can't be a good person and be religious. Just from this right here. Because if you're religious, by definition, you have no integrity. Because if religion was true, if theism was true, if Christianity was true, then you should be able to honestly demonstrate that right now. The second, it's 2:38 p.m. Central Standard Time. Where is the Father, the Son, and or the Holy Spirit right now? I don't want any bullshit answers. I want something you can demonstrate. I don't want to hear us outside of space and time. I don't want to hear us in another dimension. I don't want to hear, look at the trees. I don't want to hear that it's in me, it's in you, it's in all of us, it's in everything, it's everywhere, out there, it's above the clouds, it's above the plane, it's above the first. Shut the fuck up with that stupid shit. And either show us right now where exactly the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit is right now, or shut the fuck up about that shit right now. What are y'all talking about? Let's go. Let's look at some of the other things on this fucking list. Check this out. Reliability, honesty, reliability, humility, responsibility, and those are things that are simply not compatible with theism. Because theism, it's completely unreliable, at least in terms of improving the world, improving our collective quality of life, solving problems, inventing innovations that will help improve the world, stopping violence, reducing violence, all that crazy shit. It's completely unreliable in these regards, which might explain why there are so many settlements for sexual assault all across the nation by all these religious institutions, by all these Christian institutions. Yeah, they always protect their identity. It's sickening. You can't say that these people are humble when they're so brazen and obnoxious about their delusional garbage. Their inability to be honest and say, hey, I don't know exactly where the Lord is right now. And responsibility, these fuckers never take any responsibility or accountability for the bullshit that we see across the world. What are they responsible? I mean, they're responsible for a lot of the problems, if not all the problems. They've allowed these bitch ass, goofy ass people, these psychopathic fucking business greedy assholes, to take over everything and pretty much ruin everything. And all these Christians could do is give their thoughts and prayers every time some tragic event happens. There's never any talk about how they can figure out solutions. There's never any talk of how they can put their minds together, put their resources together, and figure out actual literal solutions to these different problems. All they do is give their useless thoughts and prayers and move on like nothing happened until the next thing happens. And it's the same old song and dance. What is responsible about that? How is that responsible? What, what is, where's the integrity? You mean to tell me that this ideology has integrity, but we can't even partly talk about it? If I say the same shit I just said on TikTok, I'm getting shut down to hit me with hate speech, misinformation, sexual exploitation, and gender-based violence. They will hit me with every single violation possible. Why would that be if the facts and the data show you what it is? I just showed you that we are 128 out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. Where is Christians taking responsibility for that and doing something useful about it? Notice I said something useful. I didn't say do something about it. I said something useful, helpful, something that would help us improve our place in the world in real life. Because I don't see how annexing Greenland does that. I don't see how kidnapping the president of Venezuela accomplishes that. I don't see how these bullshit tariffs accomplish that. I don't see how this day of religious freedom accomplishes anything at all. What the fuck is the point? We still got climate change right now, fucking shit up. We still got Christians like Trump who reject that there's even such a thing. Why? Because he's in bed with the oil companies, obviously. But also because the Lord saved him, Jesus Christ, I guess, told him that there's no such thing, even though you can't tell me that there is such thing as a Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Because what the fuck are you talking about? Jesus couldn't even save your bitch-ass friend, Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I said it. Couldn't save your hoe-ass, lying-ass, scammy-ass friend, Charlie Kirk. So I stupid-ass got shot in the throat in front of everybody under a fucking awning that said, proving me wrong. Well, he was proven fucking wrong because all that sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit did literally not a goddamn thing to protect him from a fucking bullet trajectory. Because guess what? It doesn't matter what retarded ass, stupid ass, ridiculous, idiotic religion you believe in. We are all susceptible to the laws of physics. The laws of physics is real, people. The laws of physics is real. So you can't just sit here and pretend like, well, because you have the faith of a mustard seed, that's somehow going to protect you from a fucking Tech 9, you idiots. The hell is your fucking problem? It's 2026, and y'all still living like it's fucking 2026 BC. What the hell is wrong with y'all? At what point do y'all realize this shit is useless and it's not helping us at all? What does it help us do? What exactly does Christianity help us do? I was having piss me off. I was having a debate with some goofy in the comment section of a crime video. I forget, it was about some loony murdered some person, and somebody in the comments gonna say, well, there's mental illness and then there's evil. So I commented, well, evil is a subset of mental illness, typically a result of all types of mental illnesses. So then we went back and forth for a little bit. Ultimately, I just had to fucking mute this person because they said, oh, there's no science for evil. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm not going to waste my time with this person. Because, see, there is this field called psychology, this other field called neuroscience, which are all about understanding the human brain. See, the fact of the matter is, labeling something as good or evil is an intellectually lazy way of describing behaviors. Because the whole reason I even started going down this route was because I was watching, and I said this yesterday, I was watching a press conference from the Chicago Bears head coach, Ben Johnson, he talked about how some guy was a good guy, he's a great guy. And it got me to thinking, what does that mean? Somebody's a good guy. Like, what makes somebody a good person? So that's what sparked me to go down this road to understand, well, what exactly is good. And so that's why I brought up this article to describe the 6 signs you're a good person. The only problem is most people who think they're good people are not good people because they can't be honest. That's the major point. All of this. There's so many people who we see every day. They give off this energy, this perception that they're just so wonderful and so great and so upstanding. And then what do we find out? No, they're pieces of shit because they were engaging in so much disgusting behavior. They would do so many terrible things. Oh my God, how could so and such have been doing all of this whole time? Because we're realizing that people aren't as good as they seem. But more importantly, we as a society don't have real conversations about what it means to be good or evil. And more importantly, the fact that there's a lot of gray in between. One of the things we've learned is that there are a lot of people throughout history, a lot of notable people, people who have been heralded as accomplishing great things, who have done terrible things. And then there's the opposite. There's a lot of people who are renowned for being infamously terrible. They've done something horrible. Yeah, they've done a lot of good things too. Think about it like this. Ted Bundy, what is he known for? One of the most infamous serial killers in the history of history, right? Who's kidnapped, raped, murdered all types of people, even a child. Piece of shit. At the same time, however, in the midst of that, at one point he was working for the suicide hotline. One of his coworkers said in the interview that he seemed like a great guy. He saved many lives. She was shocked to hear about the horrible things that he did. And it goes to show you the complexity of humankind and human morality. Because if you took out the serial killer shit and just looked at, oh, he was working for the suicide hotline, you'd say he was a great guy. A lot of people believed he was a great guy because of what he was doing. But because of what he got caught for, oh, he's a piece of shit. And it's like the suicide shit didn't even matter. It's like he never worked for the suicide hotline. Conversely, just like I showed you, these pastors, these priests, these religious leaders, teachers, cardinals, coaches, they are looked at as some of the most upstanding citizens in our society until they get caught for fucking raping kids. And then that's where the dilemma comes in. Because it is very, 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 very difficult for Christians to accept that maybe their leader is a piece of shit. Maybe Pastor Johnson might be a fucking loser. Maybe Priest Weinstein is not as great as it seemed. And that's where people's moral compass gets put to the test. Because here's where they pick and choose who they're going to forgive and who they're going to reject. And a lot of the times, if it's a religious leader or some celebrity that they really, really like, a lot of these people gonna forgive them for what they did, even if what they did was horrific, even if they still engage in that behavior. Sometimes these good people help these not so good people cover up their crimes, cover up the things that they do. We've seen it countless fucking times. We've seen so many stories just within the past year of so many exposés, motherfuckers getting caught engaging in this behavior, and motherfuckers actually like being found to be helping these people engage in this sickening behavior. And one of the reasons why we talk about sexual assault in the church is because it's so rampant. It's because every day we find story after story after story of this shit having happened all over the world. And these topics are rarely ever talked about. And they're definitely not talked about in the mainstream. Even though these stories get covered by mainstream news organizations, they're not given the precedence that they deserve to be. Like, as an example, right? Let's take a story like this from 3 days ago by the Chattanooga Times Free Press about how Abba's House now removed deacon was arrested on charges of child sexual exploitation. This fucking loser, right? This is from 3 days ago, right? 3 days. 3 days ago. This shit constantly happens. It's constantly happening. Like I said, 2/3 of the population subscribe to the institutions where a lot of this shit is occurring. Now, you could say, well, he was removed. But the real question is, if this is who he was, why would the Lord pick this guy? Put him in a position where he can engage in this behavior. Why does this happen so much in the church? To such a degree that, like I said earlier, 93% of sex offenders describe themselves as religious, and that the category of offender may be the most dangerous. And other studies have found that sexual abusers within faith communities have more victims than younger victims. Like, how could that be the case? Why would that be the case? If they're so wonderful and so amazing and they got the Lord helping to fucking filter all this shit out, how can that be the case? How can this be the case? And that's just one little fucking data point. Because there's more in here. You know what I'm saying? Like, all kinds of crazy shit with pastors and all this type of shit. But you would think that if they had the Lord, these numbers would not exist. Because with the Lord, don't they say they can do all things through Christ? So if they can do all things through Christ, then why aren't they doing the obviously useful things like stamping out rape in the church? Like helping us improve our quality of life, helping to remove pollutants from the air, stopping the greed of fucking business magnates and executives, hoarding all the resources, damaging the environment, damaging our fucking health and wellness. You would think this would be at the forefront of these wonderful, amazing Christians, but it's not. Their goal is to serve the Lord, except they're unwilling to really engage with people like me to explain what exactly that means. Because as I always ask, what is this God thing? Where exactly is it? And what evidence do they have to demonstrate that this thing is real? What method do they have to actually locate this supposed being? What method do they have that we can replicate to verify that what they are saying is accurate, true? There is none, which is the problem. 200 million American Christians, and they have nothing. Nothing. So many of them are going to meet up tomorrow and not do shit. They're going to sing songs, they're going to hold hands, maybe watch some people dance or play a guitar or some shit. Listen to some lying-ass charlatan repeating the same old, ancient, useless garbage from their sci-fi fantasy lore, none of which is going to help to solve any of these problems at all. Matter of fact, check this out. This is from the same website, not in our church. Check this out. Damn it, I hate this button. You are more likely to be abused by someone in the church than your congregation being involved in the shooting. Just think about that. Just think about shit like that. You are more likely to get raped than to get shot. And according to this, just above that, according to this article, there are 2.7 church shootings a year. There are an estimated 378,000 congregations in the United States, which means the likelihood of any congregation being involved in a shooting in any year is approximately 1 in 126,000, or 0.000079%. And to think that's more than the amount of people that can demonstrate the existence of a Father, Son, and or Holy Spirit, which is a whopping 0.000000000000000 to infinity%. 0%. Zero. A fat fucking zero. Nothing. Christians have nothing. Theists have nothing. And yet, they get in the positions, all these decisions, all these declarations, and more importantly, they extract so many resources. My dear darling friend Ice here, showed me this link about how theism is one of the biggest industries in the world. And this is from nearly a decade ago, so I'm sure that's only gotten worse since then. So, second here. It's up to goddamn cookies. Oh, get the fuck out. So, this is according to the World Economic Forum. The World Economic Forum. This article that says religion may be bigger business than we thought, and here's why. January 5th, 2017. So this is nearly a decade ago, and yet it still rings true. So check this shit out. Institutions, $303 billion fucking dollars. $303 billion in institutions. $473 billion in businesses. So charities, healthcare, higher education, businesses, faith-based businesses, and faith-inspired businesses. So what they are saying is, there's a lot of money. A lot of money. Look at this. Each year, congregations spend $84 billion on their operations, ranging from paying hundreds of thousands of personnel to paying for goods and service as diverse as flowers, sound systems, maintenance, utilities. Almost all is spent right in the local community. Okay, cool. And what do they accomplish with this shit? What are they accomplishing? The impact of faith-based schools in the U.S. is significant. For instance, St. Benedict's Catholic Prep readies 530 mostly poor, mostly minority boys for college and beyond in an area where public schools are working hard just to keep young men from ending up in gangs, in jail, or dead. St. Benedict sends 95% of its graduates to college, including a sizable number to Ivy League schools. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's cute. That's cool. What about the rate? What does it do to stop the rate? Isn't that a pretty important thing? Okay, mentioning that this one school helps people go to school, okay, that's cool. I ain't no fool. How are you stopping the rate? Like, they list all these little things, congregations provide alcohol recovery programs, all this type of shit. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. But considering the claims that they make, why are people addicted to any substance in the first place? Well, where's the Lord to prevent any addiction? Where's the Lord to guarantee everybody gets the same high quality education and not just at private religious institutions? How about helping to make public institutions just as good as these institutions? They don't want that. You know why? Because they're full of shit. Their goal is not to help the world. Their goal is to help themselves. That's why we can't talk about it. That's why they're so full of shit. That's why we are 128 out of 163 countries on the global peace index. If they were doing such a fucking fantastic, swell job, then shouldn't we be at least in the top 25? Let's just say 25. 25. It could be number 24. But no, we're all the way down at 128. So clearly, there is a disconnect between what this is talking about and the actual results. Where are the results? Why are we 128 on the Global Peace Index? And they're talking about, well, this school did this and that business did that. You're listing a few fucking examples of some things and small things. This is not big shit. Because if we really, really looked at the numbers, we can see things like, check this. Check this. Let me see if I can find it. So check this. This is according to NBC News. And this is from September 16th, 2022, 10:34 a.m. by Berkeley Lovelace Jr. about how 1 in 5 households has medical debt that includes people with private insurance. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. You would think Christianity was true. 2/3 of Americans are Christians. Everybody in government is Christian. Making all the laws, making all the fucking policies. You would think this would not be the case. In fact, you would think there would be no such thing as medical debt. Why the fuck would the Lord that cares so much about morality and ethics and all that shit, why would it want people to be in debt just to get medical help? That is literally sick. That you're profiting from people being sick, that you're putting people in debt for people being sick, and that you would allow businesses to pollute the environment. You would allow military to pollute the environment so people stay sick, so people still need help, and they have to get more and more help so that medical institutions, healthcare companies, health insurance companies, pharmaceutical companies can get more and more paper from us being sick. That is why America is a sick nation. Like literally, not just figuratively, literally. It's sick. It's sickening that these companies are literally profiting from us being sick. So they keep us sick. That's why they feed us tainted food. That's why they keep polluting the environment. That's why they keep allowing these microplastics to pervade the fucking air, water, soil, and food supply. That's why these forever chemicals do the same shit, crossing our blood-brain barrier and having untold effects on our cognition and our overall health in general. Might help explain why we have a mental health and substance abuse crisis. It might explain why theism is failing miserably to help solve this crisis. And you would think that, I mean, okay, even if we were to say, okay, this is a difficult crisis, it's not just the easiest thing in the world. You got 200 million people that claim to talk directly to the ultimate superintelligence. So what's the difficulty here? Y'all got the ultimate superintelligence. Y'all got this huge industry, right? $1 trillion industry. Y'all got all the necessary people in the highest of places to accomplish these specific goals. If, that was their goal. If the goal was to improve our quality of life, to improve our collective ability to improve our health and well-being, either they're just miserable failures or they're miserable liars. No, maybe there's a false dichotomy. Maybe they really believe that what they're doing is helping. And but then why are they failing? Why doesn't it work? Why doesn't it help us to improve our quality of life? Why is it not helping us to overcome these problems, to find actual, tangible, meaningful solutions to all of these issues? Poverty, homelessness, hunger, fucking mental disorders, violence, crime, chaos, rape. I literally walked past the lady who was sleeping in the fucking alley, down the alley from my house. And it's the saddest thing because it's cold as fuck. It's cold as fuck. It's literally like 18 degrees right now. And it was just sad because I couldn't do nothing for her. But you would think that a nation with 200 million wonderful, amazing Christians, with Christians in every position of government and business and just everywhere, you would think they would have figured out a solution by now. You would think that homelessness would not be constantly rising right now. You would think homelessness wouldn't even exist because these wonderful, amazing, supernatural, super Christy Christians would have found a major solution to solve homelessness right now. And that is not only not what they have done, it's not what they're even trying to do. They're not even trying to do it. They got trillions of dollars. They got the president, the vice president, the secretary of state, all the Congress, all the fucking Supreme Court, all the governors, all the mayors, all the fucking aldermen, all these people across the country that are super duper Christians. Now, all these people I'm talking about are definitely not broke. So you can't say, well, they just don't have enough. Just, I don't know, they just ain't, they can't, it's not, uh, I can't, you can't tell me they ain't got the money. You can't tell me they don't have the resources. You can't tell me they don't have enough people at all. 200 million Christians. Really? You don't have enough people? You don't have enough resources, trillions of dollars? Oh, so motherfuckers can pay one guy trillions of dollars. Elon Musk, right? He can get $1 trillion just by himself. But y'all can't figure out how to help everybody else. Y'all got all the money, y'all got all the people, y'all got all the personnel, y'all got all the power. And you mean to tell me that between 200 million people that are directly connected to the ultimate super Jesus chat GPT, they can't find a solution at all? That is a goddamn disgrace. And the fact that these people make it so difficult to even talk about this only goes to show you how preposterous it is that so many people still, to this day, subscribe to this ideology. Because notice how throughout all this time, right, I've been live for like over an hour, no Father, Son, Holy Spirit anywhere. Not one single Christian, one time, can provide us with the exact current location of this super thing. They can't provide us with any method for locating it, let alone actually directly interfacing with it. Right? They can't show us how we can extract useful, actual, practical information from this thing that we can use right now to solve all these different problems, or at least address the problem, at least reduce the problems, at least like alleviate some of the problem. Like we nothing. And rather than just be honest and admit they have nothing, rather than just being honest and saying, hey, we don't know, we tried, we prayed, it doesn't work. No, they will fucking double, triple, quadruple, quintuple down and say, no, we got to keep doing we got to keep saving souls. We got to fucking keep praying. We have to keep engaging in this fucking bullshit. You have to keep going to church. You have to keep listening to these liars and charlatans and scam artists who claim this garbage that none of which they can demonstrate at all. We have to keep engaging in this behavior. That's why I say that these people are not good people. Because it goes to show that their goals are misaligned with our goals, which is to improve our collective quality of life. They don't want to do that. And here's the most important part. Not only are they hindering our ability to improve our collective quality of life, more importantly, but I won't say more importantly, but just as important, they're hindering our ability, our capability, our quest to truly understand the nature of our actual reality. See, because here's the thing. Theism is wrong because it requires willful ignorance to subscribe to it. It requires ignorance, it requires stupidity, it requires indoctrination, it requires people to suspend their cognition, to suspend their logic, their reasoning capabilities in order to subscribe to it. That's why it's so fucking hard to even talk to a theist. Because they already made their minds up. They've already decided that their sci-fi fantasy lunacy is the truth. And I know because I used to be one of them. I used to be one of those people. I used to subscribe to the nonsense too. I used to drink the Kool-Aid too. I used to drink the flavor aid too. But it took an education and constant reflection, understanding logic, understanding argumentation, understanding logical fallacies and how to avoid them, understanding the Bible and theology and the senselessness of it before I realized this is garbage. This makes no sense. It is useless. It is preposterous, and it's a huge, huge threat to our collective ability to survive. That's why one of the major, major, major focuses that I have is what's called the Fermi paradox. For those of you who are unaware, I know ICE and HC, y'all get it. Y'all have heard me say this shit a billion times. But to those out there who may not be aware, there's this concept called the Fermi paradox, which is actually where I derive inspiration for the ultimate rage paradox. So basically, the Fermi paradox goes, he discovered that the universe is 13.8 billion years of age, that there exist billions upon billions, perhaps even trillions of galaxies, with each galaxy hosting billions upon billions, perhaps trillions of stars, with each star hosting 1.6 planets per star, and who knows how many moons. And many of these planets and moons exist in what is called the Goldilocks zone, where they're not too far away from their host star to be too cold to host life, and they're not too close to their host star to be too hot to host life. So if you look at these ridiculously, absurdly, literally astronomical numbers, even a small percentage of these entities would mean there would be untold countless amounts of civilizations all throughout the universe, even in our Milky Way galaxy. However, despite having the Hubble Space Telescope orbiting the Earth and having the James Webb Space Telescope located at the L2 Lagrange point, discovering some of the oldest galaxies to ever form that we didn't know was even possible, we have yet to discover clear-cut, obvious signs for the existence of alien life. And so the whole point of the Fermi paradox is why? Why don't we find clear-cut evidence, obvious, concrete, just straightforward, smoking gun evidence for the existence of intelligent alien life? There's all kinds of speculation concerning what might be the cause, but the one I focus on mostly is what's called the Great Filter Hypothesis. The Great Filter Hypothesis, which is the idea that there could be all these civilizations out there somewhere, just like us, that have their growing pains, that have their social issues, and da-da-da-da-da, but that for whatever reason, something is preventing them from reaching their potential. Something is preventing them from becoming spacefaring civilizations that engage in all kinds of development and spreading out such that they would be easily detectable with our current technology. One would think that just with the James Webb Space Telescope alone, that at some point we can just look and just see a megastructure. We could see a spaceship flying. We could see some kind of a fucking laser beam or something that clearly isn't just a natural thing, something that could only be developed by some intelligent civilization. So there is this Soviet astronomer named Nikolai Kardashev who came up with the scale to rank the hypothetical level of advancement based on energy output. And what that means is, if there were civilizations out there that had these capabilities, this is what they would probably look like, right? And we can only judge by what we would hypothetically do if we had these capabilities, because we are the only life forms that we know of for sure to exist in real life. So the original Kardashev scale has 3 levels, 1, 2, and 3. I know, crazy, right? That's so difficult to remember. So K1, K2, K3, K for Kardashev. A type 1 civilization has the energy output of the host planet. A type 2 civilization will have the energy output of their solar system. And a type 3 civilization will have the energy output of their galaxy. Meaning, if there was if there was any civilization, say in the Milky Way, that was on this spectrum, that was on this scale, we should be able to hypothetically detect them with relative ease, considering what they would have to accomplish to even reach these levels. We here on Earth haven't even become a type 1 civilization. That should tell you something. That if we had the ability to harness the energy of the planet, then we would have we would become a type 1 civilization. And the type 2 and the type 3 to harness the energy of their star and their galaxy, well, that requires a great feat. And if they existed, they should be able to be easily seen. Because 13.8 billion years, I don't know if you know this, that's a long fucking time. That's a long time. And if galaxies can form earlier than we thought, how is there not a single type 2, type 3 civilization that we can easily just see? And so my thing is that the possibility is the great filter hypothesis. Just by judging what we're doing on Earth right now, we as human beings are failing to prioritize our own collective ability to survive. All of the things that could threaten our survivability are not things that we prioritize trying to shore up, whether we're talking about potential weather events, climate change, asteroidal impact, biological fucking plague, chemical warfare, biowarfare, mutually assured destruction. What up, soul? And stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't even talk about it. We don't think about it. A lot of people don't even believe that that's just even possible. Or more importantly, don't care if that's even possible because they would rather die anyway because they'd rather go to the super duper happy go lucky place out there somewhere outside space time or the fuck crazy shit they believe in. They don't want to help us improve our collective quality of life. They don't want to help us ensure that we can all survive and thrive so that we can figure shit out, so that we can reach our full potential as a human race, as a living conscious civilization, as earthlings. Okay? And um, so that's the great filter hypothesis. But to be more specific, the specific scenario that I fight tooth and nail against is what's called the eschatological great filter hypothesis. And so what does that mean? What is eschatology? I'll show you because you know what we do. I like to show y'all what I'm talking about, not just say it. So eschatology My bad. Accidentally muted myself. These buttons are pissing me the fuck off. Pissing me off. Anywho, I don't know what you heard or what you didn't hear, but the fact of the matter is that I was saying thank y'all for coming through. This is the most amount of people I've had on a live on fucking Substack so far. So I appreciate y'all coming through. Yeah, my bad. I'm still figuring out the stupid interface. These buttons don't work how they're supposed to. And it's frustrating as hell. But anyway, it's all good. Fact of the matter is, what I was saying was eschatology is what perfectly describes Christianity, because so many Christians are so obsessed with the end of the world. They're so obsessed with revelations. They're so obsessed with Jesus coming back, the rapture, all that crazy shit. And then that rapture shit happened. And all these people fucking did all this crazy shit because they believe that some stupid loony in South Africa was fucking, he had a dream. He had a dream that fucking Jesus was coming back, and that didn't happen at all. Didn't happen at all. Literally at all. All these media organizations picked it up and talked about it. The shit trended on fucking TikTok, mind you. None of the creators, at least as far as I'm aware, were cited for misinformation for something that not only did not happen, but can't happen because it's not fucking true. Yet, I get hit for misinformation for showing y'all shit that allegedly happens all the fucking time. It just goes to show you how full of shit social media is and how dangerous social media has become. That allows this kind of bullshit to spread throughout the motherfucking platform. But then when people are trying to say, hey, not true, they will label that as misinformation. It is sick. So the fact of the matter is, these people, a lot of these people are so obsessed with their theology. They want to prove that it's true so bad that they will kill us all. They will literally kill us all because according to their lore, according to their book, according to their sci-fi fantasy fucking novel, these events are supposed to happen, and therefore the Lord Jesus Christ is gonna come back. Even though I don't believe he's a real person to begin with. And all this fucking shit is supposed to happen. So that's why America is so tight with fucking Israel. It has nothing to do with, oh, America really, really, really loves Israel because they're just so wonderful and amazing. No, it always goes back to fucking religion. It's always the sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. Because it says in Revelations chapter this, verse that, some stupid shit. So that's why they don't care about real life. They don't care about the facts, truth, data, and information. They don't care about our quality of life because according to them, they're going to go to super duper happy place somewhere out there, even though they can't demonstrate such a place actually exists in real life. But they believe that somehow they're going to exist in some other form and then somehow get transported to some other place that isn't a physical place, but like is also is physical. I don't know what the fuck they be thinking about. But the fact of the matter is, Christianity is a doomsday cult. It is a literal doomsday cult. It's a cult. It's just a mainstream cult. All religions are cults. All theism is a cult. And they're all untrue. They're all false. Yet people far and wide are so insane. They want this shit to be so true, so bad, that they will destroy us all. That is the eschatological great filter scenario. That is what I am fighting against at all times. That these people will doom us all to destruction because they want to believe their sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit so bad. If this sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit was so true, why would they want to stop someone like me? If it was true, wouldn't they want to demonstrate to us that their shit is true? Wouldn't they want to engage so that they can actually convince us of their sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit? But then again, if it was true, it wouldn't be sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. And that is the problem. because so many people subscribe to the sci-fi fantasy bullshit. That's how they've been able to build a whole entire industry on this sci-fi fantasy bullshit. That's why it's so difficult for people like us to have a real impact on this crazy shit, because these loonies are out here working diligently to protect this garbage at all costs. I'm surprised I'm still able to talk on here. That's why I will continue to talk on here. That's why I will continue to be on Substack, because fuck websites like Facebook and fucking TikTok that want to suppress people for just showing you the truth and challenging bullshit narratives that have zero evidence for them at all. Because see, here's the thing. Now that we have this technology, now that we have the internet, now that we have social media, we should be using these tools to understand our reality as much as possible, working interdependently with synergy. As a result of that, it should allow us to reach all kinds of unquestionable truths, valid, accurate, demonstrable truths that allow us to optimize our collective health and well-being on the quest of understanding the totality of our reality. As you can see, Doomsday Cult doesn't help us do that. Talking about revelations all fucking day does not help us accomplish anything other than ensuring that we all die. I don't know about you, but I think that life is more preferable to death. So I'd rather live. I'd rather live as long as possible and as high a quality of life as possible. And I would like to have control over my death, if that's even possible. What I mean is, I don't want to be living my life and then one day I get cancer, or one day I just have a massive heart attack and just drop dead, or I get hit by a car, or I die in a plane crash, or I get shot down the street in the robbery going wrong. I like to know that A, I live in a society where a lot of these things don't happen at all. And B, I like to be able to say, you know what? I want to die when I want to die. So after living 165,000 years, I've seen everything, I've experienced everything. There's really not much more to do. You know what? I think we could call it a life. I don't want to die. I'm 39. I don't want to die tomorrow because a fucking asteroid hit my fucking house. On some Donnie Darko type shit. Airplane just flies into my house and just hits me. Or some crazy shit. Our goal as society should be on how we can all live longer, live prosperous lives, have a high quality of life where we don't have to worry about people in our lives trying to rape us, kill us, harm us, steal from us, maim us, lie to us, manipulate us, indoctrinate us. We should be living in a society that is peaceful and harmonious. And with all these technologies and all these capabilities, there's literally no good reason as to why we can't accomplish this other than that there are so many people around us, among us, who actively fight against making this happen, which is where we found ourselves. So in order for us to solve this problem, we have to fight the nonsense at all costs in every way, shape, and form. Otherwise, what the fuck are we doing? What the hell is the point? What the hell is the point of anything? What's the point of even talking politics if we're not talking about real life? This is why I harp on religion so much, because religion is politics. Politics is religion. Because what exactly is politics? What is politics? What exactly is politics? Let's define the term. Politics. See, I accidentally muted myself again. Politics is the art or science of government or governing, especially the governing of a political entity such as a nation and the administration and control of its internal and external affairs. So, government governing. But what do people base all their political beliefs on? Their beliefs, their religious beliefs, their worldviews. That's what people use to govern or to inform their positions on numerous political issues. So if a bunch of people believe some fucking bullshit, it can taint their ability, and usually does taint their ability to govern effectively, efficiently, which is where we are, which might explain why America is 128 out of 163 countries on the Global Peace Index. That's why we have to talk about this. This is why, despite the fact that 2/3 of the population subscribes to the sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit, we have to inform them that that shit is sci-fi fantasy fucking bullshit. It is not true. It is not correct. It is not accurate. It is inaccurate. It is useless. It is baseless. It is unjustified nonsense that does not help us in any tangible, meaningful way. If it did, y'all would be doing such a hell of a job, and we would not be here talking about any of this shit. Y'all would just be doing a great job, and we would probably be supporting y'all. We would probably be in the church right now, singing the songs, singing praise, dances, all that shit. What the fuck is the point of that shit if it's not actually helping us? If we can't even get past, well, Jesus this and Jesus that, and outside space of time garbage. Because see, now that we live in the information age, you can't just say shit no more. Now you actually have to demonstrate shit. If you're gonna tell me that Jesus is outside space time, well, show me that there is an outside space time. Show me how we can access this outside space time. Show us where outside of space time we can find this fucking loser. Right now. Show us right now, and if not, shut the fuck up forever. So, yeah. So basically, that's what it's all about. I want to disprove the great filter hypothesis, specifically the eschatological great filter scenario. The idea that we're going to kill ourselves to prove religion right for no good reason, and that might explain why we don't see alien civilizations, because they all kill themselves over some stupid ass, ridiculous ass religious bullshit. That's absurd. That would be absurd. And if that is a great filter scenario, that needs to be a great filter scenario that we should avoid. In fact, we should avoid all great filter scenarios. We need to be able to disprove the great filter scenario by ensuring our collective ability to survive, let alone thrive, and spread throughout the cosmos. Because who knows? We might find that there actually are life forms out there. We might find that there are other civilizations out there. But we ain't gonna find out if we don't get our shit together so that we can actually go out into the space, the realm of space, so that we can actually discover all that there's out there. We can't do that if we're fucking dead. We can't do shit if we're fucking dead. That doesn't make any fucking sense. So, anywho, I'm gonna stop it right there because the game's finna come on very soon. That's why I did this live a little early, because I'm trying to start doing lives at like 4 p.m. Central Standard Time, but the game's finna come on. It's the playoffs, baby. So we gonna see what the fuck your weak ass Bills don't do. Is Superman really Superman? I don't know. We'll find out on this next episode of Dragon Ball Rage. So anywho, in short, we as a human race need to survive and thrive. We have to prioritize our collective ability to survive and thrive. Otherwise, everything else is useless, pointless garbage. So let's work together interdependently with synergy to get on the same page and bring some goddamn sense to this crazy ass world once and for all. So thank y'all to everybody who came through. This has been another episode of the No Cap Zone, a place where we have a strict dress code. Now get the fuck off with that capping ass bullshit. The only kind of cap that we allow around these parts is your thinking cap. Otherwise, shut the fuck up, get the fuck out of my face. You can go anywhere you want, you just gotta get the fuck out of here. You can scroll up, scroll down, all you gotta do is move around, okay? So, enjoy the rest of your weekend if I don't see you. Like you said, bear the fuck down. Yes, bear the fuck down. My Bears are playing tomorrow, and we trying to get to the Super Bowl. We got rid of those fucking cheeseheads. Fuck them, by the way. Cheeseheads got shredded. Be safe out there, stay smooth, and like I said, let's bring some goddamn sense to this crazy ass world once and for all right? I'll look back at your fucking boy, man.